Greetings, and thank you for tuning in to Be a Singular Sensation. You know, it's one of my favorite times of the year, just like most parents across the country. It's back to school time. And, you know, usually with back to school time, there's getting the kids up early, making sure they're on that bus, making sure those lunches are paid, making sure you put money on the lunch account. And then there's figuring out how to do dinner, help with homework, do everything, and have your me time in the evening as well. Because of those things, and because we all need a little help getting organized and acclimated, which is probably the better term for right now, I am joined with Miss Nicole Chamblin of Visions Productivity Solutions tonight. Thank you for joining us, Nicole.
You are welcome, Sydney, and thank you for having me. It's a joy to be here.
Thank you. And you have some tips to share with our audience on how we can get better organized and just prepared at home for the school year.
Yes, these are tried and true because there's what keeps me sane with my 8.5-year-old. Can't forget the half. Just to keep him organized and on track and ready for his learning environment at school. So the most important thing that I learned to do is plan ahead.
Yes.
You know, figuring it all out, kind of getting that roadmap, understanding what's coming up, what do I need to do, where do we all need to be, because just having that plan makes me calmer. And when I'm calm, he's calm.
Yes.
So that helps us balance things out a little bit.
And you have an environment at home that's conducive to learning once everyone is calm and ready.
Exactly. So a calm kid is a happy kid, for me at least.
Yes.
And then the next thing for us both is having systems and routines. You know, he's my kid, so it helps him when he knows what's coming up next. And all kids, I don't care if they're little ones or if they're bigger ones, having a routine really helps them be successful. Let them know what's coming, you know when things are coming home from school, so you know, okay, I got to check the backpacks on Wednesdays, and help them help you. So, you know, let them understand that routine. I like to post it up so my son knows what are we going to do.
Where do you post it?
I post in his room, so he has a board in his room on the door, so he can check it at his eye level. And then I have one also on the kitchen, right on the fridge top. So me, hubby, him, if he needs to check it and see what do we have coming up next, it's right there.
Okay.
Makes us nice and happy. So systems and routine, as soon as you can figure out what's our system and routine going to be and teach them, then it helps. You know, he knows when we got to get up, he knows when we got to get out the door. And the next thing is just make sure that the child is involved. You know, even the little ones, find something age appropriate that they can help you out with. I always, you know, when I first started with my son, I made the mistake of thinking I had to do it all myself. And when they're little, yeah, there's not a whole lot that they can help out on. But then it's part of responsibility. It's part of growing up. And especially with the older kids, find something that they can do to take something off of your plate. So my son now thinks it's fun to make his own sandwiches.
Right.
Go ahead, hon. Here you go. I lay everything out.
You let him make your lunch as well.
No, because I'm not really a fan of, you know, the kind of sandwiches he likes. But he loves it, and he feels the sense of independence. But also, when he's making his own lunch, I can do something else. So find age-appropriate things that your kids can do. He knows in the morning he got to get his lunch together, pack his backpack up. He knows what goes where. He knows it's got to be by the door so that when we leave, he just grabs it and goes. So it makes life nice and easy when he's a part of the routine also. So you want to involve your kids in that routine and make sure that they know what their part to play is. Everyone wants to feel needed.
Right. And I think for the older children, the adolescents, when they help create the rules, it's easier for them to follow the rules.
Exactly. The older the child, let them have more input. You know, when you have older kids, a family planning session at the beginning of the week is awesome. Sit down and say, what do we have going on? Where do you need to be? What do I have going on? Do I have meetings? When am I coming home from work late? Let them be a part of the decision about who does what, because they're more likely to follow through.
Yes. Yes.
It's just all about follow through.
Yes.
The other thing I like to recommend for parents is prep for paper. You know, in over 10 years of working, I'm still looking for that paperless office. I'm still looking for that paperless home. It's not going to come. You know, the post office is very reliable on bringing more and more paper home. And then backpacks are full of paper. You know, we have a lot of families who may not have access to electronic communications. So the schools are going to double up. They're going to send emails, they're going to
Right.
send text messages, they're going to make phone calls, but their one guarantee is to send the paper home.
Especially that first day of school, packet of paper.
That first week.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
it's like that backpack's heavy. So what I like to say is prep for paper. You know,
Okay.
before school even starts, you know, one of the things that I do is I go out and you know, office stores are my favorite. So I go to the office supply store and I get one of those accordion folders. You know, they have 13 in there. Usually I love the ones that have like about an inch pocket in the front. And literally what I'll do with it is any important papers that come home from school. You know, things that I want to keep, artwork or, you know, certificates when they get their awards goes in that front pocket, that 1 inch front pocket, because it's got
That's a
enough
good
room to
idea.
hold it. And then there's a folder for each month of the year. So I, you know, weed through.
Where were you 13 years ago? That is a wonderful idea.
Not even thinking about this, but what I do is I keep the memorable stuff. So you know, I go through it as papers come home. I take a few minutes and I compare it to what I already have. If it's a better sample of work, if it's something really cute, I want to save it. It goes in the folder. And teachers are usually pretty good about sending stuff, especially for the little kids. Like once a month, you get like this wad of stuff
Yes.
that comes in. Now it's easy to manage. You know, instead of having to take the pile of paper off, I just go through it, save what we need to save, get rid of the rest, and at the end of the year, it's nice and contained. I just put second grade, third grade, whatever it is, and it goes up so that he's got something for later when he needs samples of work. So
Nice.
prep for paper. If you'd rather not have the accordion, you know, if you have a little filing cabinet or one of those mobile file boxes, just set up the hang-in folders. And the cool thing is, the older the kid, again, get them involved in filing that paperwork. If they need to have it, make sure that it's there. Another way to prep for paper is an old-fashioned tickler file system. So a tickler file system, you can make your own. You have a folder for each month of the year, and you have 31 folders or slots for the days of the current month.
Okay.
And you know, you always have a school trip coming up, you have paperwork that has to go back, you've got the fundraiser, all of that stuff. So when you're working in the current month, if something's got to go back to school on the 15th, just put it in the folder for the 15th or the 14th, even better. And check the
Okay.
folder on the day. So if you get to the 14th, oh yeah, I got to take this back to school tomorrow. It goes back in the folder to go back to school and you're
That is
done.
great.
So an old-fashioned tickler file system keeps life easy. You know, you've got the field trip in May, just put it in the folder for the month of May. Don't worry about it till you get there. And at the start of each month, have your child be a part of the process. Okay, let's file this in the day that we're going to take an action on it. So it can keep you nice and sane.
That's a great
hopefully.
idea. Yes.
I also love technology though. So, you know, try to handle the paper, but if there's an app for that, get it.
And you have a wealth of apps, okay? You know an app for everything. So what's the app we need to download?
So the app you need to download, if you're in Prince William County's school system, they have My PWCS. It's on Android and it's on Apple Store. This is like my go-to. You can pick your notifications, so you select your school. You're going to get all the notifications that they push out, calendars, updates, you know, whatever's happening. You find out right away if school's closed because of the snow.
Especially with the
Right.
snow season,
You,
yes.
you don't have to wait for that call. You can check it because it'll
Do
post
they
it right.
send notifications about interims and report cards?
Well, what you can access is right in that app. When you flip through the screen, what's great is you've got the menu right there. You have the account, so you can pay, add, and load money for your kids' lunch account. You can check in there right away and see what did they have for lunch yesterday.
Wow.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. And you can also log into Parent Portal. So when you get into Parent Portal, that's when you'll see their report cards and grades and anything that's coming
Right there
up.
at the palm of your
Right
hand.
there in your palm of your hand. Now, your older students can download that same app. And they can go into Parent Portal because they get a student login, and they can go and check their assignments, things that they're doing. So it's all right there on their phone. I love it. It keeps me sane. And I don't know what I did before I realized that it existed. So I share it with everyone. I'm
Way
bringing
to go,
that good news.
PWCS.
Now, I know that they're doing some updates on their websites and things like that. So just go to the website and check and see what's going on. But it's a nice and simple, easy way to have everything contained in one small and easy place that everyone can be on the same page. So it's huge. I love it. And I think that they did a really great job with designing it. So kudos. The next thing is, again, following with an app. My favorite app actually is a calendar, an electronic calendar. So I use a Google Calendar.
Okay.
My husband has a Google account. I have a Google account. I created a shared family account. So your older kids, you can add them to the account as well. Share that calendar and add everything on the calendar. Sports practice, test study, whatever's coming up, add that to the calendar. Anything that's going on at school, make sure it's on the calendar. Whoever has to pick who up, like when I need my husband to know, you've got to pick my child up, it's on the calendar and it pushes to his phone.
Huh.
So it makes it nice and simple.
That is really good, especially with my son entering his senior
Oh,
year.
yeah.
And there are so many important dates and deadlines to keep up with.
Oh, yeah. Adding it to the calendar, what's great about it, especially for older kids, is you're teaching them and modeling behavior for them that they'll need when they're not under the roof anymore. And when I work with people in a work environment, in a corporate environment, that's one of the biggest struggles, is figuring out how to manage time, how to deal with schedule. And I know a lot of friends talk about college-age kids, like that's one of the struggles for them when you're not there to help them keep track of time. So if you start, middle school, high school, getting them in the practice of putting important dates on calendars, getting them the practice of saying, oh, I have a test next week. Let me make sure I schedule when am I going to study for it. I have a paper to write. Let me schedule when am I going to start it. So you can prompt them. You can start by filling it out, but they'll build that muscle. They'll get comfortable and they'll get used to doing it so much that it'll become second nature to them, that when they say they have something to do, they'll whip it out and put it on the calendar as well. Now, for younger kids who are not on an electronic device, print it. Unfortunately, it's paper, but print it and put it up on a wall, or you can get the dry erase calendars. Keep that updated so that they can see it. Again, you want to teach them how to track a calendar, how to keep track of time. It really helps make a difference, when you can kind of just see where are we all going to be at a glance. When does he have a field trip that one of us needs to cover or something like that. So using a calendar, sharing it with all the family members, keeps everyone on the same page and sane. And it takes away from that whole, you didn't tell me. Yes, I did.
Right.
It's on the calendar.
Right at the time something is supposed to happen, too. It's always that convenient.
It is on the calendar. You have no excuse.
Right.
The next tip I like to suggest is stock up on tools. Back to school shopping is my favorite time of year.
Is it?
I do. I have an affliction. It's called office supply-itis. I love it. So I love to go in because you're never going to get the deals are amazing that you're going to get on all the things that you will need for the year. So yeah, once you got the supply list for school, what I always suggest is buy an extra set because they make it so affordable for yourself. So you have that at home because you're going to need it,
And I guess now is the time. Everything is really cheap.
Oh, it's awesome. So I go out and I buy all the supplies I need for my training so I don't have to worry about it throughout the year, and I take advantage of the deals now for work. So you can do it for your home office as well. Make sure that your child, your student, has the tools that they need at home. Whatever they're using in class to do their work, they're going to need the same thing when they come home to do their homework.
That's true.
So set them up for success by putting those tools in place. One thing I recommend you put in your toolbox, it's a wonderful, nifty little tool. They actually have an app for it as well, but I love it. It's a little reminder. It's kind of like an egg timer, but it's called Time Timer. And it's a great tool to use with little kids because you set it to whatever time you want it to do a 30-minute reminder. And what happens is it has like a big red marker that will get smaller and smaller as time is reducing. So it gives a nice visual on how much time is left, and it helps kids start learning to track time. I love to use that with my son when we're doing homework because especially now that he's going in 3rd grade, he has to learn to kind of work on a schedule and plan his time as he's taking his tests. So we set goals. We talk about, hey, let's see if you can get this done in half an hour, and I'll set it for half an hour and leave it in front of him. So instead of him taking time out to say, how much time do I have left? He can look and see, oh, okay.
Exactly what's
it's at 20. Oh, it's at 50. Okay, let me get my reading done.
Right.
So it's really easy. If you don't want to use, they have an app. You can download an app. But they have these really great tools. They're not that expensive, but I found it very useful at home just to help keep track of time. Set it in the morning. Hey, you have 20 minutes to get ready for school. I walk out and go and do what I've got to do, and he can track his time. So what that does is help, again, your child learn how to manage a schedule, how to manage their time, and to be aware of time. But that's one of my favorite tools in the toolbox, so I just had to throw it in there.
Okay.
The next thing that I would say do, and any of these in any order, but hit the school's website. get familiar with the website. There's a lot of great information that's there, not just on announcements and the notifications that come home, but what I discovered is that the teachers will share resources that they're
Yes.
using in school and tell you how to get a login for your kids so that they can do that at home. So go on the website, dig around. Most of them will post what are their encore days, so you'll know what your child's schedule is. When do they need their sneakers? When do they need to bring whatever supplies back with them? And you can really just feel comfortable of getting a handle on all the things that you need to send to school or manage with them. What's upcoming? What's going on?
Especially now with, I think all the schools across the Commonwealth have a new website.
Yeah.
Everyone just left Fusion.
Yeah, and they had to because, they had to transition because when it's a product that's not supported. So now they're updating it. And what's great is that all these things are right there and visible. You can find everything that you need. And I think they really are trying to get us as parents to get more comfortable using it and going to the website, going there to go and get our, bus schedules. So go to the website. Spend the time there. You can share the calendar to your shared calendars, so it makes it easy to keep track of what's happening at school as well.
And time for the last one.
Yeah. So
Drum
the best thing is don't overextend yourself.
Yes.
Don't. If you overextend yourself, it's going to roll down to your kids. It's all right to say no. You don't have to volunteer for everything. You don't have to sign up for everything. Give yourself room to breathe because, as you said at the beginning, we need me time too.
Yes, me time is imperative.
It is important. A calm parent will have a calmer child. I can't promise a calm child, but a calmer child. So give yourself room to breathe and relax and be ready.
Thank you so much, Nicole.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
And those of you at home, I just want to add one to the list. Dinner time. It's so important to sit, and if we just ask our children, hey, how was your day?
Yeah.
Just open-ended questions, not, did you have a good time? Yes, no. No, what was your favorite part of the day today? And you'll learn a whole lot about how your child is doing at school. Keep those conversations going.
So important.
Yes.
So important.
So, thank you to those of you out there watching. Remember to be your child's biggest fan, be their advocate,
True.
and to be a singular sensation. Till next time.